We've made it to the last stage of modifying, fixing, and or repairing my Tesla Model Y Performance suspension. That's Rosie up above me. Today we're gonna be doing the...
Hold up. Do not believe a single thing that he is saying. We are not gonna be done doing stuff to Rosie.
Well, I mean, technically he's right. This probably won't be the last thing. You see, I'm afflicted with while you're in there itis, and I love cars too much, and I just can't stop myself. So today we're installing our Mountain Pass rear camber correction arms. Later, maybe we'll be doing coilovers or sway bars or different sets of wheels and tires. I don't know. These cars have so many freaking options that why not try all of them? Today, we're really gonna focus on finishing our alignment and our driving characteristics to get everything within a spec to what I want. And maybe what you might want too. These arms are freaking amazing. You can see that they are a billet machined aluminum with 2 locking fasteners and a joint in the middle so that the adjustment will be super easy. The ends come pre-installed with a European style ball joint or bearing assembly. So this can be torqued at any angle and it'll rotate into place. You never have to worry about stretching, cracking, or falling apart like my front control arms. Eventually, I might even put a set of their bearings in the front as well to help to maximize Rosie's ability to corner, handle, and maybe just last a little bit longer on the road. Our first step is to get the car down onto our pads. We're gonna measure the camber so that you can see what our true before and after is here in the shop. Then I'll be doing a DIY alignment. I'll probably do that off camera because I already did a video on how we did it before, but I will show you exactly how these adjust. So if you go to your alignment guy, he'll know, but you'll also know instead of just guessing. We're gonna wanna get our rear splash panel off to give us access up underneath while we're doing our alignment, and it'll just make getting to the control arms a little more visible for you guys. You wouldn't need to do this in your driveway installing these arms. All right, so it looks like we've got about 1.1 on that side, which is exactly where I want it. And this side I've got minus 1.4. which is pretty much where I had it last time I did the alignment on the car, and that's not where I want it. I want to get closer to that 1.1 or 1.0 negative number. That's the tilt in of the wheel. So we've got just a little bit to go. Let's go ahead and get the wheels pulled off and we'll get to the control arms. I don't even have the compressor on.
It's so nice.
Yeah. Here is our factory arm. Before the alignment techs jump down my throat and jump into the comments and tell me how dumb this is, I'm gonna point out a couple of things. Yes, you're correct. There is a factory adjustment protocol on these cars. It starts by loosening this bolt up here and then using the play in the bolt to try to push the arm in or pull the arm out to adjust the angle. Or you could go underneath and do the same thing from the lower control arm as well. Here's the problem with that. There's absolutely zero precision with it, and this being a bearing and the top being a bearing, you don't have to worry about torquing that under load or at ride height, but the inside bushing and the inside bushing here both need to be torqued with the wheel at the proper ride height, which I think you and I both know isn't gonna happen 100% of the time, which means you're gonna apply radial pressure on those bushings that will eventually damage them. So, installing an arm up top is going to give you the precision that you need while also replacing one of the potential failure points, the bushing on the inside of your camber arm, that you don't have to worry about later. So on the inside of both of these, we have a 21mm nut that you can break free. Judah's using a stubby or medium-sized 1/2-inch breaker bar to break these guys free. And everything else in the suspension is going to be holding it together. So don't be worried that it's going to come flying out or anything like that. There you go. This one's a little harder to get to. There's not a lot of metal under here, or ferrous metal under here. Did you hear it adjust?
Yeah.
That was the slack in the bolt moving. Now, before we pull it out, let's see how much we can push and shove on this thing. Here, switch real quick. Get in close on the bolt, and I'm gonna push. I mean, it's...
The arm is moving, not the bolt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, up front, right here.
Right here. Yeah, but that's slack, even though this technically isn't one of the adjustment points. Is this side loose enough? Let's see. I could just see asking your alignment tech to do all this and him getting 1/10 of a degree and going, well, that didn't work. Yeah, this is all just movement in the bolt right here. All right. Keep on going, bud. We'll see how the bushing looks too. There we go. Nice.
Not bad.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't look bad. I mean, there might be some minor tearing in there, but nothing to be worried about yet at 93,000 miles. One of the really nice things about these arms is not only the precision at which they're manufactured, but the precision and care that these guys take to send out the parts. Instead of just throwing these guys together, they send them matched to a stock arm. I haven't touched this arm yet, and you can see my bolts are as tight as can be and lined up exactly where they need to be. So I'm at the exact stock length to work off of once I get it in the car. I am really curious just how much play there is in here.
That's the other one.
Yeah. I'm trying both bolts to see if they're the same. I mean, how much play is that? That's not enough to matter. And then here, there's no play at all. So how are you supposed to get any adjustment out of that? Would it all be right here? We got fractions of an inch. I mean, honestly, that's terrible. I know there's got to be more play in the bottom, but even still, that's just terrible. Now, you do have a couple of service points in your suspension here. You've got your upper and lower knuckle bearings, which you cannot buy from Tesla. And then you also have the bushings in the 3 control arms here that you also can't buy from Tesla. Mountain Pass has a solution for that to save you from buying a $600 knuckle with their spherical bearings that you can replace the factory bearings and the factory bushings with. I might wind up doing that because I do know that I've got some tiny tears here in these bushings. At least in this upper trailing link, I can see a tear there. Judah, come onto this side. It's tiny at best in the corner, but it's there. And you can see there is a little bit of wiggle on this bearing, but so far, no crunchy or anything like that, so I'm not gonna worry about it. These bearings have been known to fail, and people wind up buying entire knuckle assemblies in order to fix that. When you could just buy the bearing itself for a Mountain Pass, get it done for a lot cheaper. So looking at the Tesla repair instructions here, we're looking at install of our upper aft arm or our camber arm. One of the things that it shows you to do is install a spring compressor in your spring. That's because we're gonna have to lift up our hub to get it to the proper ride height before we can torque them down to 134 Newton meters. Now that's only the case if you're replacing these arms with stock arms with the bushings that are stuck in place that don't move. Replacing them with the Mountain Pass arms with the bearings rotate, you don't have to worry about that. So all we need to do is get our torque wrench set to 134 Newton meters. Now, before you go and install these, one thing to bear in mind is if you live in a really corrosive environment, like say somewhere in the north with salt or de-icer or something like that, you may want to pull this out and grease it up with anti-seize. I'm going to drop a little bit of lube in there and not worry about it. I live in the desert, barely ever rains here, and there's really nothing corrosive on our roads. So I don't feel like it's going to be a problem, especially with the aluminum. Just something to keep in mind. And in an ideal circumstance, you'd probably get new hardware, but honestly, I don't see a need for that here. These bolts are not torqued to yield, they're just torqued. Look at that. Like a glove. It's almost like it was precision machined to fit in this space. Almost. All right, so this again would be where if you had normal bushings, you'd have to crank up your control arms to 427 millimeters here to here, and then torque. We got bearing and a bearing. We don't have to worry about that. Does look really neat in there. And the blue matches our car. One of the things in the instructions as well is you want these two arms in the same plane with one another as you're torquing everything down, which if you don't adjust them, they will be in the same plane. Don't adjust them before you put them on the car, that is. Typically, you should be applying torque to the nut, but My torque wrench doesn't fit that side, so we're going to the bolt. Alrighty. And I mark all my hardware. Okay, we'll do the same thing on the other side. Get our wheel back on, get her back on our alignment blocks, and see if we can get this thing adjusted. All right, we're back on our blocks. And you can see we're measuring 1.5, which is exactly where we were before. I already did that side, and it was measuring 1.5 as well. So one of two things happened. Either this arm is adjusted a little bit more than the factory arm, or the lack of slop in the bushing has been compensated for, and both of these arms are exactly the same, because I have 1.5 and 1.5. I'm going with the latter, that the precision in these arms is exactly the same, which is giving me the same reading on both sides. So what we're gonna do is we'll go underneath and we'll make some adjustments. Okay, I've got my helper, Judah, under the car, and he's gonna be doing our adjusting while I hold the tool on the outside to see what's going on. Let's see, you can see the arm right up in there. He's gonna get up there and loosen the jam bolts, or the jam nut and bolt. That's a 10 on the top and the bottom.
Remember which way is extend?
For me, at the top here, if I turn to the right, it's extend. So for you on the bottom,
Pull down.
you want to pull down.
All right.
Let me pull gyro line back up. Get back on our wheel. All right, we're reading 1.5. Let's see if we can see it adjusting. Just go a little bit at a time, and we're gonna shoot for
Can you grab me the stubby 17?
Stubby 17?
Too long to reach with all the S arms here. Okay, let's see here. Good?
All right, we're back on. Yep.
That's one notch.
That's 1.6. Keep going. Let's just see if it keeps going up. That's 1.7. Yep, we're going the wrong way.
You sure?
If 1.7 is bigger than 1.5, I'm sure 1.8. Sometimes you got to play with it to figure things out. Certainly, if you wanted to go more aggressive, this is definitely going to be the way to do it. How many rotations have you made?
I think I'm just back to stock. Yeah, I can't see how many I'm going because my hand's blocking it.
Okay, you're down to 1.5 now, so you're back to where we started. 1.4 is lower than 1.5, so we're making progress. 1.3, 1.2.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna call that right there. We've got our camber set to minus 1.2. That means now we can go back and reset our tow and get it out on the road for a test drive, which is where you're gonna see us in 3, 2, 1. We've got Rosie on the road. She's driving straight. My offset calibration is a big fat 0, which means I did the alignment right, and everything is good with the world. If you're looking for a set of camber arms for your car, I highly recommend these Mountain Pass arms. Not only is the quality just absolutely sublime, but the adjustment was so much easier than trying to move sloppy bolts and hope that you get the settings just right. We're able to get a half, a quarter, a full turn, whatever we wanted out of them to get exactly where we wanted at minus 1.2 degrees. And if you are lifted, lowered, or anywhere in between, these are going to allow you to set your camber the way that it needs to be set. Anytime you modify the suspension of your car, you're going to be changing the driving dynamics and the kinematics, the movement of the suspension. And you're going to want to fix it. For my car, being stock ride height is probably not a big deal, but camber does accelerate toe wear. So the more camber you have, the more toe wear you're going to have as well. And because we're running toe in on the rear, about 0.15 to 0.10 degrees side to side for a total of 0.2 to 0.25, we are going to get some scrubbing just naturally as we're driving. So taking out a little bit of that camber isn't going to impact our drivability or our ability to handle curves. I'm turning right now 28, 29, almost 30 miles an hour. Regardless, it's not going to change our ability to handle all that much. We've got a nice flat contact patch, good road surface adhesion, and we're not going to be slipping. That's just the reality of the story. We'll just have better tire wear. If you're looking to add a set of these to your car or any other parts from Mountain Pass Performance, help me out by entering code DFB in the checkout notes. That's going to let them know that I sent you, and it might make them want to work with me yet again. I do really appreciate you watching. I hope you get your car all set up. You love it as much as I do. and you really do enjoy your new parts. Thanks again for watching. Like, subscribe, join, do all the things down below. Drop me a comment and a like. I already said like, but it does really help the algorithm, and not many people see these videos, so I could use all the help I could get. Again, I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one.